village lost at the frontier of the invisible, swallowed by a horizon of snow, of fog, and of mountains. A last point of rally before the void, and then nothing else. Ice, wind. Miles of solitude distance this village from the last sketch of a road. It used to have a name. Everyone has forgotten it. It is only by hazard if one reaches it. Erased from all the maps by the passage of time and snow, it stretches, long garden of gray stones, at the entrance of a small valley of naked trees and frosted cascades. An old rifle, a weaver's loom. Here, no form of technology has prevailed. Here, not the steam trains nor the telegraph can arrive. Every day, hunters go to lose their way in the plains and the forests. Every day, they return. Sometimes, a house becomes available.
Alright, hello YouTubers and welcome to a new Let's Play. I'm actually doing this in honor of the 5th part and final part, I believe, of this game being released. And this is a game I really wanted to beat for a long time. And winter is coming. And so I know why not. I managed to get special bonus content 2 Steam sales ago for this. So I do have an extra mission that I can potentially find. But anyways, this is going to be, I think, a long game. So let's start it, shall we? I have, as you can see, I have a saved file right here. But she's a bit further in than I'd like to be at the moment. So we're going to start a new game. So you guys can see all the wonderfulness. I did test to record that the, blah blah blah, that the intro could record, and it has, so you get to see that. Music for this is really pretty, so I have it up as far as I can. There is a lot of reading. Some of it I will read, some of it I will make sure you're able to pause and read, hopefully. A lot of reading, a lot of conversations, all kinds of things. Anyway, step 1, Origins. You will begin the game as a 24-year-old woman. In the next 3 steps, you will be able to customize several aspects of the heroine's character. First, select an origin. Alright, we have the Huntress. Although Huntresses are more commonly found in northern regions than the southern regions, it is still a fairly uncommon profession to take. Highly trained for surviving in the wild, favors spears, bows, and rifles, capable of finding food in harsh environments. Intuition is the Huntress's primary attribute. On the other hand, physique does not influence combat. Skuld, goddess of the future, is often associated with the Huntress. Skuld is the youngest of the 3 Norns, who are together known as the goddesses of Principality of the 3 Rivers. Then we have the Weaver, the most common profession for women of the Principality of the 3 Rivers, the Weavers, spinning fabric or wool into things such as clothing, rugs, or laces. Cheerful and sociable and accustomed to village ways of life. Tendency to daydream. Humor is the Weaver's primary attribute, as it enhances the Weaver's mental resistances and provides a sort of cynical and ironic dialogue options. Reinforces a more light-hearted play style. Verdandi, goddess of the present, is most often associated with the Weaver. And the Volva is, it says here, Volva has very high memory, making the game more difficult. Select this job only if you're used to this type of game. And as I haven't beaten it yet, I'm not going to be doing a Volva, but I wanted to show you it anyways. I'll let you pause here if you want to read about them, but I'm mostly going to be going between the Huntress and the Weaver. I believe my other character is a Weaver, and I kind of like that one. And I like the lighthearted play style, even though it really isn't that lighthearted. You just get a few extra dialogue options because humor is, well, all the attributes are pretty significant. Very intuition's really good for a hunter who's ability to survive. But I do want to go back to the Weaver because I haven't finished through playing the Weaver yet. Alright, and I do like how you get to be a female character in this. It definitely drives, like, females can be the main characters of stories, even though this is kind of sort of a generic female, but the fact that there are no men, I don't know. Well, not like there's no men in the game, but you can't choose to be a guy in this. Alright, humor. To assess and keep a given situation into perspective. Absorption reduces damage you receive by a fixed number. Humor also opens certain humorous dialogue options. And I am going to put a bit more into humor. Willpower, steadiness, and mental coherence increases my energy. When we lose our energy, we lose the fight. It's a good thing to put some into. Memory is a double-edged attribute. Increases experience points, but also increases the damage you receive. I'm not going to be increasing memory a lot, if at all. I don't need the double-edged attribute quite yet. With the vulva, you'll probably... Yeah, vulva, you probably will, have a high memory to start with, but you don't necessarily need to increase it. Alright, back to 40, and give me 5 of these. 5. Apprehend the positive and negative factors of the situation. Psyche points in the first turn, as well as the regeneration. Psyche points are kind of your way to use abilities, because there is combat, but it's not quite the same way. Attribute the social ability of the character. Ability to be treated reduces a lot of movement and psyche points. It's pretty important. Oh, all these are pretty important. And intuition. Evaluate the situation where clues are dispersed. With both detection of traps and invisible creatures. And it also increases the chance to dodge attacks. Now, my other character, I did put a bit into this. Mostly because that was a good one to go with. I do want to put a lot into humor, because I will always put a chunk into it. Energy is like your hit points. And, let's see. We'll just increase my memory all the way up. Up to a 25. That's pretty good. I'm not going to increase my memory for the double-edged sword, because I'm not very good at offsetting that just yet. And then we get to pick our portrait and our character. So we will go with, let's see. My other one was Katiana, but maybe we'll go with this one with Christine. And so let's go through the portraits. This, I believe, is Katiana in my other game. These are our portraits. Oh wait, no, that's the portrait without the gun. So let's see, which one do I want to go with? There may not be a lot of choices, but it's not very terrible. I just think, like, this portrait is definitely, like, the prettiest. Let's see, but since I'm basing this kind of off Chris, I will definitely choose a more Chris-like portrait. Yeah, or might work, actually. And if you watch on the screen, the clothing color changes. Definitely don't think... Well, she might have a dress. I don't know. There is a fair amount of customization for And the big thing to note is actually with this game, the developers, I think they went out of business, but they still released part 5 for you know, us that really sort of enjoy the game. There we go. That'll be the perfect, let's see what hair colors I got. I want it to be a light color. Actually, let's go a little darker. Maybe more brown? There's a sandy brown there. I mean, I could technically try and match that outfit to this character, but not necessarily necessary. Let me make sure this is the portrait I want. I think this would be good for Volva. She just looks so mystical. I love these portraits. Let's get the one without the snow. The one has snow, I think. Yeah, let's get the one without the snow. Makes the character easier to see. There we go. See, that's very pretty. Alright, let's start.
Leaning against the frozen brook, a little further out, a small house hangs over the west part of the village. A man is standing out front. Next to him, a little girl is sitting on a wooden chair. They are not speaking. From time to time, she glances at him, curious, in silence. As you're approaching them, you recognize her. She is you. You must have been
This is
7,
really
maybe
reflective.
8. It was, most likely, a day in October.
Winter is coming.
The man who is standing next to you is your father. He does not smile at you. Impassive, he stares straight ahead. With such clear blue eyes, one would think they are white. Your story begins here and now, on these motionless lips, under this cold stare, which fixes the horizon and leaves no room for compromise. Under this stare that does not seem, and has never seemed, to grant you any significance. Your story begins on a day in October.
Do not
What
forget.
do you have left from this moment in time? The little girl fled on a night of weariness. She disappeared in the fog many years ago, and you have never talked about it since, and she was never seen again. The man has not changed. 15 years later, lying in bed, worn out, he would still look out the window, his face turned towards the light. Even yesterday, on a day in November. You don't quite remember at which point he closed his eyes. But even afterwards, a long time afterwards, it seemed to you as if he was still looking.
Alright, let's begin. It's a deepish story, so... You have been standing by your window, silent for hours. The body of your father rests in the next room. Indifferent, you stare at the window. Probably been too long since you last slept, and your head as much as your eyes are empty. Vico, a man is speaking from the doorway. Christine, it's Vico. May I come in? I came to tell you that I will help Kaliki. In a few hours we will carry your father's body to the funeral pyre. You have some time left if you want to hold a wake for him. He stays quiet for a moment, undecided, then leaves the room without a word.